Hello friends, welcome to my channel, Language Lovers. Today we're going to talk about false friends. Yeah. A lot of false friends around there. Be careful. Just kidding. We're talking about false friends linguistically. Let's talk about Portuguese and Spanish, which are the language that I know that are the most similar, the language that I speak. Okay, so how similar is Portuguese to Spanish? We all know that the languages are very, very similar. In fact, lexically speaking, we've got 90% of similar words that look exactly the same, they're spelled exactly the same, or they are pronounced exactly the same. Yeah, so let's see. It's not uncommon that, for example, imagine Portuguese African speaking villages. They usually are not so well educated, and they hear a Spanish person speaking their own language, Spanish. They will immediately think that oh, it's just a white person trying to speak Portuguese. Well, that's how similar the languages are. Another example is that I myself can speak Portuguese towards Spanish, and that person can remain in their own language as well. They speak Spanish, so each one of us speak our own languages, and yet we can communicate. That's how similar it is. However, I have to say this, well, only if we, the Portuguese or the Portuguese-speaking people, only if we speak slower, can the Spanish-speaking people understand for some reason. Or at least that is applicable to the Portuguese accent, right? Because, you know, blah, 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 that's how we talk, right? So imagine a Portuguese lady trying to speak Spanish. She says something like this. Very shy. Estoy un poquito embarazada. ¿Qué? ¿Qué dices? Pero coño, ¿estás embarazada o no estás embarazada? ¿Qué es eso, un poquito embarazada? Huh? Imagine a Portuguese gold digger telling her Spanish lover something like this. No me parece que es tu firma. ¿Pero qué dices? ¿Dónde está mi firma? Firma. Firma in Portuguese means company, empresa em português. Mas em espanhol, firma significa assinatura. Coño, quero aceitar tu mano. I'm sure that the Portuguese around that scenario may think, wow, how brutally romantic is she, isn't she? I mean, come on. Aceitar. Aceitar. It's written in the same way, but it means different things. It means to oil it, and you can associate it with aceite, which means olive oil, so you can aceitar. And the real accept in Spanish, people say aceptar o concordar, no? Aceptar, concordar, that's aceitar, okay? Another example, which is very, very interesting and funny, is espantoso. Espantoso, espantoso in Portuguese means extraordinary, marvelous. And in Spanish means exactly the opposite. It means horrible, horrible, espantoso, ugh, es tan espantoso. You see what I mean? That's another false friend. it's quite difficult when you're learning both languages. You should not learn languages that are so similar at the same time. For example, you know this. There's a website called Exchange Conversation, I think. It's Exchange Conversation, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where you exchange languages. For example, where you trade languages. I bring my Portuguese or I bring my Dutch, and the other person brings whatever they have. For example, if they say that they are practicing Portuguese and Spanish, oh my God, I don't want them. I don't want them because it's like it's confusing. I'll spend the whole time correcting them instead of having fun with the conversation. So I would rather have someone speaking either Portuguese or Spanish. That's preferable for me. Yeah. That's what false friends do. Oh my God, there's a dog running around, the big ones. I hope he's not coming towards me. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. Oh, this one is funny. For example, imagine a guy, two lovers are meeting, are rubbing each other, and then he says something like this: "Oh, cariño, me gustan las esposas." And the Portuguese woman jumps very angry. How dare you? How dare you talk to me like that? Do you think I'm just any other esposa? And then he goes, huh? Yeah, esposas. That has double meaning in Spanish. Esposa means wife in both language, both Portuguese and Spanish. But then esposas with an S, plural form, also means handcuffs. So the guy really enjoys handcuffs and not wives, although she is a wife, being mischievous, cheating on him, cheating on her husband. Another one is imagine a hooker, right? A prostitute. No, imagine she's saying something like this: "Un hombre casado acá es muy raro." The Portuguese will think that she's disingenuous, like, because it's known that married men also visit hookers. So if someone is saying the word here is raro. Raro in Spanish means strange. If the prostitute is saying that a married man is rare in her premises or something, that should be disingenuous, isn't it? Okay. Another example, another good example. In Portuguese, ganancia means ambition, right? In Spanish, that word means profit. Can you imagine? Yeah. So it's the same way. It's written the same way, well, without the accent. In Portuguese, there is an accent on an A, the second A. And in Portuguese and in Spanish, pardon me, there's no accent, but it's written the same way. So despido, despido in Portuguese. Oh my God, there's a baby with a microphone. Great. Spoiling my video. Okay. Ooh, God. Do I have to move? Let me just continue and see how it goes with the video. Anyway, I was saying despido in Spanish should be said or addressed as desnudo. Someone without sin ropa, without clothes. And yeah, despido in Spanish should mean dismissal. Can you imagine? Yeah. Inversión, which in Portuguese should sound inversão. which is inversion, right? This means investment in Spanish. Can you imagine? Investment, inversión. It's written more or less the same. Well, in Portuguese we have the sound, inversão, informação. It's the ION in English, and the Spanish for that, or the equivalent in Spanish, is CION with an accent on the O. So, ción. So, inversión should be inversion, inversão. Yeah. Oh, that's cute. So yeah, so that's the point. I have company. Gosh. Okay, so the kid has just discovered the microphone. What else? I mean, do you have any other examples? Bring them on. Bring them on. It would be cute to hear from you, from different and funny examples of Spanish, Portuguese false friends, or your pair. Which one is your pair that looks exactly the same as, that sounds or it is spelled the same as your own language? Bring it on, give me some examples, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe, please. Subscribe, comment, let's have this one, let's have some dynamic in this channel, okay? Cool. So yeah, the sun is shining, and this is real spring. It's the first day that we're having a real spring in London. We've had some sunshine days before, but it was quite windy, and today I don't feel any wind, although I'm wearing a scarf. Yes, you've noticed, I'm wearing a scarf because that's how I always do. I'm so scared of getting sick that I prefer to wear a scarf, what it is. So we think that the languages are similar. They're not really that similar. We can communicate perfectly well, but we have to be careful with those false friends because they can be very tricky. So well, although we can just go by with our improvisation, we still have to learn the language. There's no way out. We have to learn the rules in order to become professionals, in order to become really fluent. We have to learn the rules, of the language. That's it for today, and let me know which languages are you learning. Any difficulties, any good tricks? I will be talking about the methods that I'm using to learn the languages that I'm still learning Italian, but I can speak Italian a little bit, and I'll be exhibiting it one of these weeks, don't you worry. And German, of course, my beloved German language. I love it so much. I just hope I can do the same as I'm doing with the Dutch language, just have it onder mijn knie. Weet je wel? Ja, dat is het. Dat is mijn doel met Duits. Ja, ik wil het heel goed leren. Yeah, so that's it, my darlings. That's all. I hope you enjoy. I mean, you can only imagine. Probably you're thinking, oh, she looks very happy. Of course I'm happy. It's the sun. The sun is shining. How can I not be happy? You know what I mean? So yeah. So now I'm back. I'm going back to jail. Jail time. So I think this was the highlight of my weekend. Coming here and talking to you and be with you. Trust me. Now back to my real world, because this becomes imaginary. Yeah. Okay, darlings. Have a good week again. Ciao. Have a good week. Ciao. Take care of yourselves.